What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I would like to welcome you on to another edition of Wayne's Perspective, where we operate in discipline, decency, integrity, and respect. And I'm coming through with another video just for you. Before I get started, I hope everyone is doing okay out there, taking every day one day at a time, living life the best way you know how. As for me, y'all know how I do. I'm doing pretty good over here, can't complain too much. I'm also taking every day one day at a time, living life the best way I know how as well. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and get started with today's video, another 30-year retrospective. This time, we're going to be talking about that crew Onyx. 30 years ago today, October 24th, 1995, they released their sophomore album, All We Got Is Us. And before I get to the album, I just want to share a few things right quick. I don't have a story this time, just want to go into a few things. Like most of you listening to this, I first heard Onyx in 1993. I was either in the third grade or about to start the fourth grade. And of course, the first song I heard from this crew was Slam, a classic to this day. And at this time, it was the four-man crew comprised of Fredro Starr, Sticky Fingers, Son C, and the late Big DS. Rest in peace to him, gone but not forgotten. And I've been a fan of this crew ever since. Just about every album that they've come out with, I own. And in present day 2025, Sticky Fingers and Fredro Starr, them brothers are still putting in work. Son C, he's still affiliated with them, but as far as things like touring and albums and guest appearances, it's Fredro Starr and Sticky Fingers. So shout out to them brothers for still doing their thing. And whatever Son C is doing, shout out to him as well. You know, we can't forget about the contributions that he made with Onyx dating back to 1993. So I just wanted to share all of that before I get started with the album. And speaking of which, we're going to go into the album right now. All of the songs on this album was produced by Fredro Starr, except where noted. And to get things started, we got number one, which is Life or Death. This is more or less an intro. It's 48 seconds and it's chilling, and it sets the dark tone for what's to come. And keep this intro in mind because it becomes important later. Continuing on, we got song number two, Last Days. This was one of two singles that was released from the album. It's a classic, if you ask me. The crew, they talk mostly about doing what it takes by any means to survive before time runs out and one more in the process. And Fredro, he came through with a banger of a beat featuring notable dope samples courtesy of Bob James's Love Lips and Lee Dorsey's Get Out of My Life Woman. 5 out of 5 for this joint. And yo, I'm America's nightmare, young, black, and just don't give a fuck. I just want to get high and live it up. So fuck a 9 to 5 and Whitey trying to slave us with minimum wages, slamming my niggas up in cages. Yo, do not get me started with these bars because y'all know I'm going to go in. And Sticky, he comes through and says, to make bread, I got to steal for sport. So I stole the show and made some opinions for my thoughts. Y'all know how Sticky get down. No holds barred. Don't give one F about it. Is life on the edge of dangerous way of living, never giving a shit? Cause we living in it. And that describes Last Days in a nutshell. Next up, we have song number three, the title track, All We Got Is Us, These Evil Streets. And P.I., he came through with the memorable hook on this one. These evil streets is rough. Ain't no one we can trust. Either roll with the rush or get rushed. Cause all we got is us. These evil streets. That hook right there, it tells the story of this one. And if these men weren't aggressive that much back in 1993, rest assured 2 years later, they stepped it up a couple of notches. And you can tell that in Last Days, and you can tell that on this song here. 5 out of 5. Next up, song number four. I love this one too. Purse Snatchers. This was produced by Onyx. This is arguably the best song on the album, in my opinion, across 3 verses. The crew, they deliver dark details in the life of a quote-unquote purse snatcher and the environment that comes along with that. Now, Fredro, he opens it up with one of his best verses. Son C, he won't too far behind with his verse, but let me tell you something. Sticky Fingers, not only does he close this song in such an awesome fashion, but his verse, he came through with what I would consider one of his best verses ever. And he used that ATION suffix ending each bar with it. And the results, they were exceptional if you ask me. Now, what I want to ask you to do is either right now, pause this review to go listen to this song, or better yet, if you don't do that, Wait until the end of this review to go throw this song on, and you can go back and listen to Sticky Fingers verse because it's incredible. And like I said, it's one of the best verses he ever came out with. And if you're keeping track, this makes 3 straight 5 out of 5 songs, which puts it in elite status. Great song. I love this joint right here. Next up, we got song number 5, which is Shout. This is a good song, I think, complete with a rowdy call and response hook. Come on and scream and shout and let it all out. Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. 4 out of 5 for this joint. All right, next up, we have song number 6, or should I say another skit, a joint called I'll Murder You. It's just 22 seconds. And I believe on one of their Cold Case Files projects, they have a full version of this song. And once it ends, it takes us right into song number 7, which is Better Off Dead. This was produced by Onyx and co-produced by Adolf Assassin. Y'all, remember what I said during the intro that the life or death skit, it becomes important later? Well, what took place on that song pretty much continues here. And I never got the vibe that this song was glorifying suicide, but in an interesting twist, lyrically, they not only go off the deep end, but still tight with it. They're essentially telling you what could result if you push them way past their limits. And even Sticky comes in with, I'm ahead of my time, in my prime, one of a kind, out of my mind. I love this joint right here. Fredro, he just says, I'm a tyrant, striking like a Viking, a knight in shining armor, death before dishonor. I mean, they was going in on this joint. It's dope. Another 5 out of 5 song. It's not glorifying suicide, but again, if you listen to it, you'll know exactly where they're coming from. Next up, song number 8. This is Live, and I talked about this. If you checked out my 30-year retrospective talking about the show soundtrack, I mentioned that this is a 4 out of 5 song. It always takes me back to a moment in time because whenever I hear this, it makes me think of the show soundtrack for obvious reasons. Good song. Next up, song number 9, Punk Motherfuckers. At one point, I went back and forth about whether this song should have been longer or if the length was right on. And I got to go with the latter because even though it makes its points, it didn't need to be longer than what it was. And this is one of those joints that I play when I'm mad at something. 3 out of 5 for this song. Next up, song number 10, Mos Def. This is a song I like a whole lot. Another tight song with a call and response hook and a quote-unquote darkly clever vibe surrounding it all. I give it 5 out of 5. And Sticky Fingers, he came through with some ill lines here. Check it out. He said, I ain't never had so many death threats in one year, but talk is cheap and it's coming out my other ear. Cause as sure as there's a devil in hell, I'm still here. To come first but not least from the east, so prepare. Cause that's the last straw, now your ass is mine. You bit off more than you could chew, so now I gotta draw the line. Hey, y'all know how Sticky get down. I said that from jump, and it comes across here. Another 5 out of 5 song, like I said. Next up, we have Act Up. That's another skit. It's pretty much on the same level as I'll Murder You. Then we got song number 12, Ghetto Mentality, featuring All City and P.I. Lyrically, this joint is about what you would expect, and the guests, they hold things down quite well with Onyx here. 4 out of 5. Next song, number 13, Two Wrongs. This was produced by Sticky Fingers. Hey, 2 wrongs don't make it right, but it damn sure make us even. This may be your standard Onyx fare, quote unquote, but Sticky's one bar right there, it tells you all you need to know about this song. And another notable bit, Fredro Starr, what he correctly points out was the hypocrisy regarding their hit Throw Your Guns, another classic, where at the time, people labeled that song as being negative, but Fredro, to his credit, he came back and pretty much said they the ones who put the guns in the ghetto for destruction. This is oppression, the deception, killing our own complexion. Those were true words in 1995, and I swear to you, 30 years later, that same oppression, deception, and everything in between is sadly killing our own complexion right now. Then next up, we got song number 15, which is another skit. This one is called Maintain. Don't really have too much to say about that. And we come to the closing song, which is This Is the Way We Walk in New York. This is the way we walk in New York. And the crew, they showing mad love to New York and at the same time laying it down verbally in regard to the style of walking in the big city at the time. And it was still shifty, low down, gritty, and grimy in the Big Apple. No question about that. And Fredro, some people said that he was throwing some shots at the West Coast when he came with "We don't throw gang signs in New York. We just be on some shit in New York." And that was true at this point in 1995. A very good song and definitely a dope way to close the album. Oh, and Fredro, no, not Fredro, Sticky, he came through. So lick shot to all the boroughs and ghettos across the nation, other states who could relate, get bulletproof appreciation. Cause this is the way we walk in New York. This is the way we walk in New York. 5 out of 5 for that classic. And with all that being said, I come to my final thoughts on the album. First things first, I give it 4.5 mics. Much like their debut, it still holds up today, and I think that's an understatement. I still go back and forth as to whether I like this album more than Back the Fuck Up or not. One thing that I can say is that it's a much different album than Back the Fuck Up was, and while Fredro, Sticky, and Sun C, they still came with the lyrical heat, what made this album really stand out was the dark tone that was present from beginning to end, and you hear that in the lyrics, and you hear that in the production. You couldn't miss it. And speaking of that production, the crew, they stepped in and did the majority of it themselves, and the majority of it was dope. And while Jam Master Jay, rest in peace to him, he served as one of 2 executive producers on the album, the other one being Randy Allen, there was essentially no input from him whatsoever, and you can attribute that to likely him stepping aside and allowing them to flex their creative muscles behind the boards and on the mic more so than they did in 1993. And man, speaking of 1993, 2 years definitely made a difference, because compared to 93, when they enjoyed a lot of success with their first album, it seemed like All We Got Is Us fell on deaf ears in 1995. And to this day, I'm not sure why, because Last Days made noise, Walking New York made noise. I mean, I still don't get it. But then again, like I always said, 1995, my favorite year in hip hop history, it was a stacked year. So with everything that was coming out, it probably fell under the radar. And it sold less than its predecessor as well. But looking back, you would think that the times had already passed Onyx by, but I disagree with that. It's just, things were already changing, just like they was changing in 1993. After this release, they would take a step back from hip hop for a while, specifically when it came to Sticky and Fredro. They would branch out into acting and do a real good job at it. They was in movies, TV shows. Y'all know that Sticky and Fredro, they was in Ride in 1998. Fredro Starr was on a few episodes of Moesha, where you could say more than a few episodes, but y'all get what I'm saying. And they wouldn't return to the scene until 1998 when they would drop Shut 'Em Down. And yes, at a certain point, I am going to do a video on Back the Fuck Up, and I am going to do a video on Shut 'Em Down. So all I got to say to that is stay tuned. And just like that, y'all, we've come to the end of this video. I had a good time making it. All We Got Is Us, like I said, it still holds up today. Shout out to everybody who had a hand in this one. Fredro Starr, Sticky Fingers, Sun C. Shout out to you guys. Big DS, rest in peace. And on that note, if you like what you heard and you're ready to become part of Team Discipline, go ahead and hit that like button and drop some comments if you're feeling the content. And last but not least, hit that subscribe button along with the bell so you're notified when I drop new videos. And one more thing, definitely let me know your thoughts on this album specifically and Onyx in general. And until next time, my people, take care of yourselves. And remember, this is the way we walk in New York. This is the way we walk in New York. This is the way we walk in New York. This is the way, this is the way, this is. I'll check you out on the next video. Peace.